Hey guys, so today I have done this video before, but to be honest, it was like early on in video making, and it was on my laptop and it was a hot mess. And like the lighting was horrible. So a lot of people have asked me, as I've talked about Spirit Airline over the year, to kind of do like a new video, and I want to anyway because I'm so embarrassed by that old video. It was like 60 pounds heavier and it just was not cute. So I decided that I would make this video so you guys would know information about it. Spirit Airline is my airline of choice. It is my favorite airline because it is cheap and I'm a cheap person. The complaints I always see about it are from people that didn't. Okay, let me give you my experience. The first time I did like my tickets online, and it was like, I was searching like kayak or some shit like that, I don't know. And I was trying to find the cheapest tickets, and I was like, whoa. I was going to California, which I do often, to see my brother, and like my family, my Nana, and my family out there basically. And I was looking for tickets online, and I was like, what? Because I found airfare for $120 each way. So it was like $240 to fly round trip to California. I was like, what the hell? Because at the time, Southwest was still at like, I think it was gonna be like $450 at the cheapest flight, and I would have to change the days then. And it was still like so much more. I think it was closer to $500. I was like, what's going on here? $240 versus $500. I was like, okay, why is this airline so cheap? And to me, that's the logical thing someone would do. They would research it and look into it, you know? But I'm making the assumption that these people just get these really cheap tickets and they're like, hey, now I got cheap tickets, and they don't actually look into the airline. And that's where all their complaints come from. Like, honestly, it is always people that did not educate themselves about why this flight was so cheap before booking their tickets. I am in Vegas right now, probably by the time this video comes out, or I am headed towards the airport at least when you guys will see this video. And I am flying Spirit Airline. Basically, my airline ticket was $100 each way, and I've flown to Vegas for probably, I think like 80, 85 was another time that we flew out there each way. So yeah, that was like a really good deal too, like 160 round trip. And then that's the one, like usually like Justin and I will get flights like that to go to Vegas when we've gone before. So yeah, it can be extremely cheap. And you can be like, oh, Southwest though, because of the bag situation you're about to hear about. But even if you calculate the bags, it's still not as much as like Southwest. Okay, so let's start out with the bag situation. So Spirit Airline is a no frills airline, okay? So what that means is there are no perks, there are no freebies, they have little fees for everything. If you go into this prepared and knowing, then you'll have a great experience like I had, like I did the first time. There was no video for me. I just went on their website and saw all the stuff they charge for and all the information, and I went from there. So let's start with bags. A misconception people have is, okay, a lot of airlines charge for bags, except what, Southwest now? So if you check a bag, it is $35 each way. Pretty standard, right? Okay, here's the part that's no frills. You don't get a carry-on bag. If you want to take like a rolling carry-on bag that goes in the bins above the seats, that is $40 each way. So that is one thing that is kind of standard on regular flights, that you get that bag for free. What you do get for free is a personal item. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys how I go on trips with my free personal item. That is a small bag, backpack, purse, whatever. The only stipulation is it has to fit under the seat, and they do have sizes on their website that are allowed, and I am gonna go ahead and somewhere on the screen I will put the sizes that are currently in 2015, the sizes they allow to go under the seats. So they allow you that. And what I always do is I always take a backpack. Now, if you have your personal item like me and it's a backpack, you don't get to carry on a purse there too, because it has to fit under the seat. This again, like, and there's been times where we go for an extended period. Justin and I went to Vegas at one point for like 7 days, and we just paid for one checked bag and we shared it, and then we both shared our backpacks and we were fine. It was perfectly fine. Most of the time I can do about a 5-day trip in my backpack and be fine. So this trip, we're going to Vegas. We're gonna be there Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be home Sunday night. So I tried telling the people going with us, you know, if you don't want to pay for bags, you can do this. If I can do this, because I used to be the queen of like a million bags when bags were free, then anyone can do this. So what I take, I'm going to show you guys. This is my Spirit Airline travel backpack that I always take. When full, because part of the regulation is like the depth of it, when I fill this up, it fits under the seat, and I have been perfectly fine traveling with this, never had any problems. Now, if you're gonna take a backpack, I suggest taking one like mine that has mini pockets, especially if you're a lady. Tons of pockets, okay? And this one has 2 major compartments to it. See? So what I do is I put all my clothes in here, everything I need, and then I use these compartments and stuff, these tiny zipper compartments for places like makeup brushes, makeup, toiletries go in one compartment. That's why I really like it, because you're not like pulling it all out of the backpack at once. I can just have my backpack sitting in the hotel room or at like my brother's house and know that if I need my makeup, it's in here, or if I need deodorant or something, it's in here. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's kind of why I use the like compartment kind of backpack, because then I can reach the stuff I need without pulling all my clothes out. The way I put my clothes in there is I roll them kind of like tightly and I put them in there. Obviously this is like a week before my trip, so I'm going to insert a clip that I took right before my trip of me packing right now. Okay guys, I am filming this a few days before my trip so I can get this edited. This is not exactly everything I'm gonna have in here, but I will show you guys where I'm gonna put the extra stuff. But I just wanted to show you. So like I said, I was gone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Even though I only need 2 extra pair of underwear besides the pair I wear, I always take 4. So I have 4 underwears, 4 socks. This is my travel outfit for the Friday. And I'm wearing those boots because I need them for this outfit. These will be packed for walking around during the day. That's my Saturday outfit. That's my dress for Brooks and Dunn show. It'll be warm in the casino, and it's in the casino we're staying at, Caesar's Palace, so I won't really need a jacket or anything like that, and I'll be wearing those boots with that. That is the reason. I was supposed to give them to my sister to pack, and I forgot. It was fine. I'm just gonna wear them on board and put those in. Underwear, socks. This is, what is this? Oh, these are pajamas. So because it's like a girls trip and it won't just be like me and my sister or whatever, my boobs are rather large. So I always wear like a way oversized dark t-shirt for when I'm not wearing a bra around other people. I just don't feel very comfortable for sleeping. So I have that and some sleep shorts. So 2 nights, that should be adequate. And this is my coming home outfit for the day and our last day in Vegas. So I have done this with up to 5 days worth of clothes. I'm of course gonna need to leave room for, you know, toiletries and all that stuff, but a few tips on things like when you're flying like this. For instance, my makeup remover, I will be squirting and soaking cotton balls and then putting them into a Ziploc bag and putting that into this bag so it doesn't take up a lot of room. And I still have my cotton balls and they're already pre-soaked in the eye makeup remover. With my foundation, I have to mix it with a lighter color. So I mix it and I put it in a very small little pot or whatever to travel so it passes through TSA. I don't know, usually they don't consider it liquid, but sometimes they do. So anyways, things like shampoo and stuff, usually if I'm staying with somebody, I use whatever they have. Or for instance, there is a CVS pharmacy down in Vegas. I can go get, like, the hotel will have something, or I can go get some like travel size things once I'm there and just use that. You don't have to pack your shampoo and stuff when you're flying this cheap. You can always just buy it at a Walmart or something, wherever you're going for cheap. Use the hotels or borrow somebody's. I'll probably use whatever the hell my sister has. Okay, so this is pretty much it. I'm gonna pack it all and show you guys how it looks. Okay, that is it. It is packed up for my trip. Another thing I do is my flat iron. I put it, it's a Qi, it comes in a case. I slide it in there and carry my flat iron right here. I use this pocket for makeup, which obviously I'm not gonna pack till the day of. So I can't, something's in here. Oh, I forgot about these. So I carry makeup in there, and my deodorant and stuff like that, toothbrush, whatever. And up here, I will carry snacks for the plane and protein cookies, because when you travel as a vegetarian, sometimes it's really hard to find places that have protein-rich vegetarian meals. So I'll be taking some extra complete cookies. And this actually can come out a little more, probably to about that much before it meets their regulation and won't slide under the seat. But I have packed this thing to the max before and had no problem sliding it under the seat. So I pulled all this out real quick. One thing I totally forgot was I will be in Vegas and it'll be freezing, so I will be wearing my jacket on the plane. Another thing they don't say anything to you about, you can take it off and put it on your lap. The flight attendants really don't care about jackets. And also be sure if you're going to Vegas in the winter to pack gloves and a hat. That will also be going in here. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so as you can see, that is kind of how I pack. And I have ample space. It'll fit under the seat. I don't need anything else. The other thing I do take is, don't laugh at me, because you know what? I'm bringing it back. Fanny packs will come back. But when I travel, regardless of if I'm checking a bag or not, I do use a fanny pack because a lot of times I travel with my cane because of my fibromyalgia, and it's just easier than carrying a purse. So fanny packs are great if you're a woman or a man, like I guess you could use it, but mostly as a woman because it's on you, so they can't be like, that's a personal item or a purse. And I always put like my wallet in it, the cash I'm bringing, you know, my ticket, all that stuff. So I'm walking around the airport and I have it accessible right there. I don't have to dig in my backpack for it, if that makes sense. Also, my phone goes in there. So you know what, I rock the fanny pack. It's zebra striped with hot pink lining, and I love it. If I knew where it was, I'd pull it out and show you guys. But yeah, so those are the 2 items I take on my flights, and that is how I fly my shit for free. You know, my clothes and stuff, without having to pay for a checked or like a carry-on bag. So that is an option. The other option would be you just get on the plane with your personal item and you pay the $35 for each way, like which I've done before too if I'm going to be somewhere for an extended amount of time, and it's just as much as flying on United airline or whatever. You're going to have to pay to check a bag anyway. So that's that. So that's the first thing to clear up for people that get really confused about the bag situation. Here's another thing to clear up about the bag situation. You want to buy your bags in advance. This is another thing. You have to get on their website. All their stuff's usually done online. You can call too, but you get online and you pay for your bag before your flight. If you wait the day of and you show up at the airport and you roll it up to the kiosk and they're gonna check your bag or whatever, or you're gonna pay for a carry-on, it is $100 each way. Because this is how this airline saves money. I'll get into it more in a second too. It's by less of them doing work and more of you doing work, and you know, not having, I don't know, like having little fees for stuff. And even if you're paying these, except with the exception of like rolling up and paying $100 each way for your bag, most of these little fees still don't add up to as much as it'd be for like Southwest Airlines. So basically you need to pay for your bag ahead of time. Do not show up with a bag because you're gonna be angry like all those people that left reviews. You need to print your ticket before you leave from home, okay? And whenever I'm away from home and I need to print my returning flight ticket, I just go find a Kinko's wherever I am, or like in Vegas, I go to the hotel concierge and have them print my ticket for me. So print your own ticket because there's a small fee if you have them print it at the airport. So that's another fee. So print it home. You know, you don't want to pay for a bag, get a backpack or just pay your bag, either way, but pay it ahead of time online. Okay, there's no like free drinks or free snacks, so you just want to buy those in the airport and put them in your bag and carry them on. I've never been stopped, because usually what I do is I will have my backpack, my fanny pack, and if I go get drinks or something in a magazine, they'll put it in those little plastic bags. They've never been like, whoa, 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 you have too much stuff, you know? They've never stopped me for that, and I fly Spirit Airlines so many times, guys. So usually I just pull the little, you know, seat pocket in front of me and stick it in there when we take off. And I'll get my little water and a snack or something for the flight. So, or you can pack you just can't pack a drink obviously, but you can pack snacks in your bag for the flight. I mean, I really don't think snacks and drinks are a deal breaker for most people, considering how cheap your flights are. The seats have always been comfortable. I've never felt super uncomfortable in them. I usually travel alone on Spirit Airlines. When you travel with somebody, this is another fee, another thing they look at as convenience instead of, you know, whatever. If you want to for sure sit with your party, for instance, we're going to Vegas with my sister, her friend, and me. If we all want to sit together, then ahead of time we have to get on their website and pick our seats, and they have small fees for that. So it can be $10 to pick a seat or whatever. So each of us pay $10 to pick our seat together, or it can be as much as like, I think like 12 or 13. I'm not sure, like maybe it's up to 14, I think. And it depends on where you are in the plane based on the price. If you want what they call a big seat, which is like their first class, it's actually pretty freaking reasonable. These seats are huge, they're cozy, they're comfy. I have yet to fly in them, but I think next time I fly by myself, I'm just gonna, you know, get it, because it's like flying in first class and it's nice big seats and, you know, plenty of room and it's comfortable, and it's 40 extra bucks each way. So it's 80 extra bucks. So even if I add it when I go to California and I'm sitting in the big comfortable first class seats, I'm still spending a lot less than Southwest Airlines. So yeah, that's that. A lot of times if you, let's see, if you kind of like go on their website and look at flights, there's a lot of stuff, but I always find the best deals on those sites that pull like Kayak and pull like a bunch of stuff for you at once and compare flights, or like Travelocity or stuff like that. A lot of the sites now are using Spirit Airline as your airline. I think we use Travelocity for Vegas to book Caesars and our airline together to save money. And a lot of those big sites now are using Spirit Airline because it saves you so much money. So people need to be sure that they like look into Spirit Airline and learn about it and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other little fees. Your seat, basically, printing your ticket, your bag, sitting together. What have I left out? I don't feel like there's any more fees than that, and I don't feel like that's ridiculous. I think if you go into it educated and you know what you're doing and you know about these little fees and stuff, then you'll be fine. People get really nervous about it. I would get a lot of comments from my old video where people are like, I'm really nervous about this. It's nothing to be nervous about. Just know ahead of time that you need to have those things done and you're good. You're good as gold. So I've always loved it. The flight attendants are always so nice. It's so funny because like I've had one flight attendant that I've had every time I go to California, and the last time I went to Vegas with Justin, she was our flight attendant too. I was like, oh my gosh. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, as long as you know these things ahead of time, I think some people like were mad about the situation with like their luggage being, you know, messed up and all that stuff and having to pay all these extra fees, and they were kind of exacerbated by the time they got on the plane, and they would say these reviews like, the seats are so small. They're like normal freaking airline seats. They're not any smaller. The big seat section, their first class, you know, those are obviously bigger and more legroom. There's more legroom at the emergency exit wing area, you know, and those seats do cost more money if you're buying them to sit together or just to sit by yourself. When I fly by myself, I'm just like, you know, wherever you sit me is fine. If I'm having a lot of physical issues because of my fibro and I'm having to travel with my cane and stuff, then I just call the airline. So if you're disabled, or you have a disability or problems like that, or you have leg issues and stuff or whatever, and you just need to be close to the front, you can call, and they save a couple of rows for people that have disabilities or physical issues like that. So time to time I do have to use that, and they're always very friendly and they're very nice. And like whenever I'm flying and, you know, I have to have Justin sit next to me, and because he has to like, you know, help me and like hold my cane and make sure I don't fall if I get up to use the bathroom and stuff, they've always been nice enough to make sure he gets sat next to me in that section. So I love their airline. They're so amazing. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys that have questions about Spirit Airline, or if you were just Googling like information about Spirit Airline. As long as you go in there and you know what the deal is, then you'll be good. You'll be real good. I've always had a great experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you later. Bye.